right, tomorrow is Election Day, and our Democratic and Republican primaries are drawing national attention this time around, with the power to possibly shake up November and possibly even shift the balance in D.C. Today, we have senior political reporter Jason Whiteley with two veteran insiders, and they are peeling back the layers of tomorrow's biggest races.
Closing in on the election here, let's cut through all the noise. We sat down with two insiders who live this stuff every day, and we devoted an entire episode of Y'all-itics to a blunt, no-spin showdown. A veteran Democrat versus a veteran Republican, from the big U.S. Senate races to who might become the next Attorney General. The Republican race for Attorney General, especially a combative one. The last major poll from UT Austin here shows this race headed for a runoff between Chip Roy and Mays Middleton.
Chip Roy doesn't really make me sweat too much. This whole thing about standing up to Donald Trump, well, in the end, he always caves. You know, they call Trump Taco. He's kind of Choco. Chip always chickens out. And just on
Choco and Taco. That's the first I'd heard that.
I love rolling the eyes here.
I want to workshop that one a little bit.
Well, you know, you don't workshop the truth.
Matt Engel and Vinnie Micillo also looking at the Democrats running for Texas Attorney General. The last major public poll here in this race shows Joe Jaworski ahead of Nathan Johnson. The big races, the runoff math, and whether the aftershocks from Tuesday might reshape November. It's the Y'all-itics Voter Guide. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts, or you can watch this one on WFAA+. It's our free streaming app that you can download right now there on your smart TV.
All right, as we get ready for Election Day now, we need everyone to make sure that they know how to vote if they didn't vote early. We have Dallas County Elections Administrator Paul Adams in studio with us today to help make sure that your vote is cast and counted correctly. Thanks so much for taking some time out for us today. I know this is kind of your busiest time, so we really appreciate it. Tell us a little bit about this. For people who are new, and we know that a lot of people have moved, here to North Texas in the last year or so, who may be, registered to vote but don't have that card yet. How do they go about this tomorrow? Because you've got to actually go to your precinct if you didn't vote early.
That is correct. So this election, unlike the past handful where everybody goes to a vote center and can vote any place in the county, as they did for early vote, on Election Day, because there was not a joint contract between the Democrats and Republicans, that forces us back to precinct-based voting. So Democrats and Republicans those political parties chose their polling locations. So there are places in the county where a polling place may just be for Democrats or may just be for Republicans, some that are for both. So we're encouraging people to go to our website or call the office. They can find out that information of which location it is that they need to show up to on Election Day to cast their ballot.
Because basically you just punch in your address and it lets you know where to go. Can you give us the website just for people who didn't vote early, who don't know where they're supposed to go tomorrow?
So that's DallasCountyVotes.org. If you go to that website, you should be able to look up your information properly. There's a red bar right at the top, and you can go to that and you can look up your information. You can also call our office as well.
And again, that's if you're voting in Dallas and you didn't get it done early. That's one of the big advantages of being able to go early vote, is that you can choose any of those locations. But again, if you waited till tomorrow, you've got to go to your specific precinct there. So what do I do if I'm a voter? And I've heard this from a couple of people who registered, but they didn't get their card back yet. And they go, oh, am I going to have to do a provisional ballot, whatever? And I go, just go vote, show them your ID. They know what to do. What do you tell people?
That's correct. There are all different types of forms of identification that are acceptable. Having your driver's license, state ID, those forms of identification would be perfectly fine. You don't necessarily have to have that card with you.
Let's talk about, I think that we've got some live pictures of the counting process that's underway in Dallas and Tarrant counties right now. And you see those there on your screen. Basically, this is all of the early vote that pours in. That all has to be counted before we get to Election Day, because you're going to have plenty to do come Election Day. And that's why when the polls close there at 7 p.m., we're immediately able to do that huge vote dump from what happened in early voting. And it gives us such an idea of what's happening in all of these different races. I'm just curious how you all are doing with that this year, because we have seen a pretty big turnout for a primary election here in Texas. Democrats have been turning out in really big numbers, but we've seen some big Republican numbers as well. This is an interesting year.
Yeah, we've seen now over 250,000
just
voters.
In Dallas County.
Just in Dallas County, 250,000 voters have already cast their ballots in this election. We're looking for a potentially historic turnout that's going to happen on tomorrow when we put all of these numbers together. But it definitely is creating a lot more work for us. But I always tell people, I want people to vote, and I want you to give me more work to do. So please get out and vote, whether you already had for early vote or whether that's going to be tomorrow under that precinct-based system.
Yeah, we would hope to overwork you guys every time around because, you know, people should be making their voices heard. And again, we're seeing big numbers this time around. My last question for you is just going into tomorrow, is there anything that you think people should know that we haven't already talked about, or are there any concerns that you have going into tomorrow?
So I would encourage all voters to do a little bit of research before you go to the polls. The ballot is incredibly long for both political parties. It's going to take a long time to vote that ballot. So the more research you do before you get to the polls, the better you're going to be.
Yeah, nobody wants you to be taking up one of those little booths forever, you know, making your selections. So do your homework ahead of time, and you cannot use your phone when you are in there, and they are adamant about that. So have your research, have your notes or whatever, but your phone is not going to be handy for you at that time. Hey, thanks so much for taking the time with us. Again, I know it's a really busy time of the year for you all. Really appreciate the info.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's get it over to Cassie now to talk about, what am I doing? I'm supposed to do this tease here. I know Jason Whiteley's in studio, like spying on me here and throwing his hands up. So I wanted to say we have special coverage coming up tomorrow that you do not want to miss. It's our Election Day coverage. It's on WFAA Plus. It starts tomorrow at noon. Our results special starts as soon as the polls close at 7 p.m. We'll be doing that all through the evening. We've got reports from all across the state. We have experts in studio with us. We've got the big board as the numbers are coming in. You can look for live reaction from our whole Yolitics team tomorrow night at 10:30 as well. We're going to be doing a special episode of the podcast. So it's going to be a busy day tomorrow. So we hope that you'll join us for all of that. And again, WFAA Plus is the place to be through the evening tomorrow. Totally free to download straight to your TV. Whiteley, I hope that made you happy. I don't know why he's in here spying on us during the 4 p.m., but hopefully that made up for that. Hey, Cassie.
Hey, guys. You know, and thankfully tomorrow's going to be a really quiet day for the weather people. Not so much all of the reporters and the anchors and all of that, because we are expecting to get a little bit more busy in the weather department come Wednesday and for several days after that. Today has been another nice and quiet day. This is our Fort Worth camera. We've had lots of sunshine. Temperatures have been very warm. We're at 82 degrees in downtown Dallas, 70 in Denton, 71 in Decatur, 82 degrees right now in Canton. Satellite and radar showing us all the sun that we currently have. Still a few clouds here and there, but I think eventually tonight clouds will start to increase. Temperatures stay pretty warm. We fall through the 60s overnight tonight at about midnight. We're looking at the upper 60s. 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, though, temperatures start out in the mid 60s. So it's going to be a pretty pleasant start to Election Day. But later in the afternoon, it's going to get really warm, and it's also going to get a little bit more windy. At about noon, we're looking at 75 degrees, partly sunny skies. The winds could be out of the south between about 15 to 25 miles an hour. So the weather's certainly not going to hold you back tomorrow to get out to the polls. At about 7 o'clock, temperatures in the upper 70s under partly cloudy skies and a breezy south wind. So again, tomorrow, the weather's going to be nice and quiet, but storm chances do increase on Wednesday. We're going to talk about what that threat for strong to severe weather looks like coming up in just a little bit. Here's the latest traffic with Stacia.
Okay, thanks so much, Cassie. Well, I have good news for you. You know, last time I checked in with you, we had a number of accidents out there. So just some updates to what's happening now, because these large stretches of red on your map, they can be deceiving, especially when things just clear, like our backup that we're watching through the Capella area. This just cleared, just saw the crews leave. So that stretch of red there along Texas 114 westbound at International, just north of DFW Airport, that has cleared. Things are looking a lot better there. Now, one that we had south of DFW Airport is looking better too. So this stretch of red on your map through the Irving area into Tarrant County along Texas 183 westbound at 360, things are looking a lot better. And one more for you, over along 635. Basically, this was affecting the stretch of 635 in between I-35E and the Galleria area. That is clear. Traffic's still a little heavier there along those westbound lanes at Rosser, but you don't have to worry about any of those lanes being blocked. So that's what we're seeing outside right now. Of course, a lot of traffic out there with people heading out to the polls today and tomorrow as well. If you are getting ready to start that commute, it looks like I'm not seeing any major collisions across the Metroplex. We're just dealing with evening rush hour traffic, and that backup in Denton County along 35W, that panned out too. Jason?
All right, Stacia, thank you. Developing this afternoon now, we are learning more about a deadly crash in Plano that killed a 15-year-old boy. Police say around noon today, the driver of a Chevy Volt lost control on Independence Parkway, crossed the median there, and crashed into an SUV. You see the result of it there. The teenager killed was a passenger inside the SUV. We also know 3 other people in that SUV were taken to the hospital, but no word on their conditions yet. The driver of the Volt was okay. The investigation's still ongoing now, but police are thinking that speeding may have played a role in this one. A case before the U.S. Supreme Court is uniting some unlikely allies now, marijuana proponents and gun rights activists. They are challenging the Trump administration's defense of a 1968 federal law that bans so-called unlawful drug users from owning firearms. The case involves a defendant caught with marijuana and a pistol. An order from President Trump is aiming to ease federal marijuana restrictions, though it stops short of full legalization.
You might not remember this, but we are still in the middle of a partial government shutdown. We are 2 weeks in, and an official representing TSA's union workers said they are only going to get a portion of their next paycheck. Unless there is some sort of agreement that ends this shutdown soon, paychecks will soon stop. Let's remind you of what is behind all of this. There is a major disagreement in Congress over funding for the Department of Homeland Security. It stems from immigration enforcement operations across the country. DHS funds the TSA, which is the Transportation Security Administration, and until DHS is funded, TSA employees won't be paid. According to CNN, top congressional Democrats do have an offer on the table from the White House. It's unclear what is in that offer, and unclear if Democrats feel like it meets their demands about changes to ICE. If so, maybe the shutdown ends soon. If not, it continues and the paychecks stop.
We will continue to keep you updated on that government shutdown as the developments unfold. Until then, a reminder here to you that you can get more very clear, easy explanations like this one on our social media pages. So make sure that you are following us anywhere you scroll.